can't change.
The things that women, society values in women goes down as they age. Gravity takes it away from you.
Yeah.
Age takes it away from you. And the things society values in men goes up with age, unfortunately. And then it ends up going down, but like dudes
All right,
reach their
Alan, you got
peak at 45.
He got me.
You feel what I'm saying?
His point has been proven.
So my point is for women like in their early 20s, late 20s, you know what I'm saying, early 30s, you have to consider the long game.
That's true.
You have to.
Welcome back, guys. Mike here, Money, Marriage, and Media. Today, we're still zooming in on that goal, 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe, turn on your notifications. Make sure you also like the video, right? So it's direct feedback. Let me know if you guys are like enjoying the content. So we're looking at Brother Allen here from We Need to Talk, and it looks like he's on some kind of podcast or show, and the title is City Girling versus Sustainability. If I had to guess, I would say this is about sustainability. It's got to be about some long-term implications here, obviously, right? So we're going to go ahead and click play. And
at 25, at 35, you're going to want somebody to take care of you.
And who's to say that that can't change?
The things that women, society values in women goes down as they age. Gravity takes it away from you.
Yeah.
Age takes it away from you. And the things society values in men goes up with age, unfortunately. And then it ends up going down, but like dudes
Alan,
reach their
you
peak
got
at 45.
He got me.
You feel what I'm saying?
His point has been proven.
So my point is for women like in their early 20s, late 20s, you know what I'm saying, early 30s, you have to consider the long game.
That's true.
You have
Longevity.
to consider exactly.
Yes.
So even though you could fuck dudes and be numb and shit like that at 25, at 35 you're gonna want somebody to take care of
And
you.
who's to say that that can't change?
The things that women.
yeah, okay. So we already know what he's saying is the truth, right? I want to address something first, though. Is what the lady was talking about. Who's to say that can't change? Well, now you start getting into the possibility versus probability. Is it possible? Yeah, but it's not likely. I mean, it's bad enough when you got to find somebody who's a good match for you, but then you're going to lay a lot of expectations on this man because, number one, he's got to have the qualities that make him attractive to most women for you to see him as appealing. Because, again, women like men who other women want. But now he's got to accept your past. But in most cases, that tends to be a quality that lower value men possess. So we also need to address the fact that the age range that he talks about, right, is that, women are born with their value. Men must create their value. And it takes a long time for a man to create their value. And in Alan's case, he's talking about by age 45. I've heard 40, 45, even 50. It's somewhere in there, depending on how hard the guy works, right? Now, inversely, women are given their value up front, youth and beauty. I think that it would be safe to say that with women, their value is, their peak is a lot higher for what they are, for what men value in women. Their peak is a lot higher, but it's also the window is a lot smaller. So it's almost like with men, there's a slow burn because it takes time to build resources, accrue status and all this good stuff. But with women, you get that peak younger age, and their value is going to shoot up higher. The trick is that we've got to start raising our children so that they do a better job of working in cooperation with each other, right? Remember, one of the things that I always talk about is that there are social constructs that are broken in our community. So when I say that we need to do a better job of raising our kids, what I'm really talking about is we need to get them to mentally mature faster. Because a lot of times, there are things in place right now that raise the marriage age, that push it back. And we need to start addressing these things because the reality is that getting married sooner would actually fix a lot of other issues that we're having. Number one, it reduces the number of out of wedlock births that we have. The other thing it does is that by the time it gives you time for you and your spouse to get to know each other better before you start trying to rush to have kids. And that becomes an added stress on a weak foundation. See, so you're actually the thing is that we're going to improve the marriage rates as well. So one of the biggest concerns for men is that, well, it's a 50% divorce rate, and 70 to 80% of the time it's women who are leaving. Yeah, and I agree with that, right? Those are just facts. The thing to how we mitigate those risks is that you and your spouse actually get time to build a relationship versus, everything has to happen so fast because you're getting married at 30. Well, now you got to have a kid because, high risk pregnancy is right around the corner. But if we were to get married younger, then you got some more time for you and your spouse to get to know each other. Y'all can build, y'all can travel if y'all want to. And then when you've done all those things now and you have a stable foundation, then you can introduce kids. But there are certain things that stop us from doing that. Again, immaturity is one. Another thing is fear that you're going to pick the wrong person, right? Well, another thing that we often talk about, or I often talk about, is the vetting process. See, we have fear in our community, particularly from our women, that they are afraid to trust the men in their families, the men in our community, well, most particularly families. Why is it that the majority of women in our community they would prefer to try and pick their spouse on their own instead of leaning on their father? To me, that seems crazy. Like, why would you not want the older man who loves and respects you to help you mate select? Because as men, we have a lot better, we are better at reading other men. Majority of the time, man, I'm starting to ask this question because I hear this too much, especially on YouTube and social media, is that women complain about, when they're getting divorced, well, he wasn't a good match, I'm not happy. The first question I'm starting to ask is, okay, well, who vetted that man for you? The majority of the time, it's the women picking themselves. And because women, it's to me, it seems like women don't know how to pick. This speaks to what Alan was talking about before, about, we haven't raised our daughters to be mature enough to select sustainability qualities, right? Or qualities that are sustainable in a long-term relationship. This is why the majority of divorces that happen in our community, they happen within the first 5 years. So what do we have here? What are we talking about? Well, number one, we already know that we need to get married younger as to build more stability within the marriage. But number two, we need to make improvements in the vetting process. Number three, we need to be raising our children to mentally mature faster so that we're ready for, so that they're actually ready for a marriage sooner. I mean, there are a couple other things, but I think we touched on a lot today. And like, I'm not trying to make this video like that much longer because this is a YouTube short. But it's a great topic though. So we will be revisiting this. Shout out to Alan and We Need to Talk, guys. Go subscribe to his channel. He has a lot of high level conversations, particularly with, like I said, he looks like he's a guest on somebody's podcast. But if you watch his channel, he regularly interviews people one-on-one. You get there are a lot of women that he sits down and has one-on-one conversations with, but he also sits down with married people. And this is important because we need more married people making content so we can get more examples of how marriages can actually work because they're not all the same, right? But great conversation we got here. So I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace.